So James has been featured on hundreds of podcasts and helping revolutionize the way we do business in the home service space.
If you have family and friends, you take photos there too. So you're scrolling and scrolling and you're figuring out what job was this and like how do I do this? And tech nerds. I actually used to run a painting and power washing company and I lived my life on a ladder. So I know what it means to deliver prospect. Hey, get on the roof for me and get your cell phone out. Yeah, right. When that first one to fall off the roof and it's over. That's never happening.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Roofing and Home Services podcast. Today I have James Hatfield, Chief Revenue Officer of LifeSwitch. James, welcome to the show. Super excited to have you. This is going to be an interesting one. We're going to be talking about how to use technology and video to increase your sales and increase your revenue for your roofing, HVAC, remodeling, and home service business. So James, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. Excited to tell some stories and get everyone's wheels turning a little bit, get them thinking a little bit here.
So James has been featured on hundreds of podcasts and helping revolutionize the way we do business in the home service space. And James, again, welcome to the show. I want to start with asking you how people that are unfamiliar with what is LifeSwitch, what LifeSwitch does and what it offers, how can you break it down into layman's terms for them?
Yeah, I can. Well, first of all, unlike most tech nerds, I actually used to run a painting and power washing company and I lived my life on a ladder. So I know what it means to deliver for homeowners and commercial real estate. And so I also know what it is to hop in the truck, to drive all around town, to make sure my crews were okay, to make sure my bids were going well, make sure I'm collecting money. I mean, I live behind a windshield as well. I know everyone has their mobile office, but now it can be difficult, especially if I want to increase my radius, if I want to get my eyes on my crews, if someone's calling me and say, hey, James, we got a problem, or a customer's like, you guys missed something, or hey, I'd like a bid. Well, nowadays, everyone carries like 4 cameras in their pocket. Everybody has a cell phone. I think they give you one when you're born now. So we have this beautiful tool in our pocket that some of us have used just to document some photos, take videos. And then the problem is if you have family and friends, you take photos there too. So you're scrolling and you're figuring out, what job was this? And like, how do I do this? And it's kind of just annoying. So we found a better way to see my business, see my people live, record everything and put it in the cloud and not store it on our phone. So we're helping you save trips in your truck, less windshield time, and closing business faster. That's what we're trying to help our home service companies do.
That's awesome. That's a really good rundown how this helps our home service partners. Now, if I want to just switch the direction to roofing, because that's what we specifically service. Obviously, we do service remodeling and other industries as well. How can roofing companies, if we're to talk about inspections, because I want to also, just touch on the fact that most homeowners won't want to get up on a roof. Uh, and maybe even if they have video to show for, like, how does that help the homeowner and also the roofer that is trying to get out there, maybe put a bid out?
Yeah, so no one's asking, and you will never ask your prospect, hey, get on the roof for me and get your cell phone out. Yeah, right. When that first one to fall off the roof and it's over. That's never happening. And plus, hey, as a homeowner, I just had my roof done a couple of years ago. I didn't even want to get off my couch. I didn't even want to leave work to meet the roofer. In fact, my insurance company already approved my roof to be redone. So I just wanted to know how much it was and when can you do it. And I don't need all this stuff. The modern day buyer falls into 3 buckets. Okay. Let's define the 3 buckets. So you're a roofer. There's the customer comes in, they call you, they have a referral, they come in through a quote on your website. First thing you're going to want to do is connect with them because we want to know if they have money. I don't really want to drive out across town if you don't have money. So we talk with them on the phone, right? We ask them a few questions. Tell me what's going on. We have discovery questions. So there's 3 buckets. You got the first bucket where insurance has approved it. They just want you to do it. Here's the money. My neighbor used you. Get out here, right? They don't even have to drive out really. Like, send me the contract and let's get it done. Does that happen every time? No, but that's bucket 1. Speed, the Amazon Prime customer. I want it now and overnight, right? We deal with that. And what you can do is you can send them a simple text message. You literally can learn how to do this in a minute, and sends them a text message. They tap on it and they get to see your face and you get to see their face. This is not a FaceTime call, but it's tuned up to do this virtual selling, right? The race to the face. I don't want them going down the Google list looking at, I want to connect with them that I'm a professional. Maybe I'm even the business owner or I'm the top sales guy. I'm going to do my discovery. If I can close them right there, great. If I can't, we're going to go into bucket two. Bucket two is, oh, this is a lead. This person has money. They're qualified. I'm driving out. Let's drive out. Great. Third bucket, you get on, you see them, they start kicking tires, and you might even, hey, you know, the ballpark for this is going to be about $20,000. Whoa. They're the people, thank goodness you didn't drive out for, because they don't have the money. Their timeline is not till next year, and they're just calling around. Those are the people we're trying to bucket three, not waste my time. Those are the time wasters, and everybody knows who that is, okay? So one more thing. When you drive out, your salesperson probably is going to get on the roof, inspect for damage, see if different things around the chimney the boot around the chimney needs to be replaced. You are not bringing up your customer on the roof, but you are probably having your cell phone in your pocket if you're the salesperson or project manager. Now you can take a live video. The customer can be down in their living room. Like, hey, let me show you why the boot around your chimney needs to be replaced. This is why your roof needs to be replaced. Look at this hail damage. And it's going to record everything, go into the cloud that can be shared with a spouse. It can be sent to insurance or the claims group. And you're documenting the work. And now as a business owner, you can even see how well your salesperson's doing. So it starts to weave its way in, and that's just the front end of the work. And we can talk about operation and afterward as well.
What about, because I'm from the tech side of things, I was a technologist, and actually we like to call ourselves a technology company more than a marketing agency, because we have to integrate so many systems to, run automations and lead nurture sequence, to notifications, to understanding the data that we get from the lead in order for us to, customize our approach. So what I'd like to ask is, do you guys have any current sort of integrations that happen with the platform that they can leverage? Like, with in any home service business, you're going to have the CRM that they get the lead. So how does that play a role in getting the customer?
Okay, so you're going to take all your current systems and use what you have. Like, we're not trying to replace that. We're not trying to change that. All we're trying to do, and we don't even do apps. No one wants to download another app, right? So it's just when I get on for that discovery call or I need someone on the roof, I'm just taking out my phone or taking out my computer or taking out my tablet. And it's a simple, you enter the phone number in and go. After that recording is done and you have all these video recordings and documentation, you can just copy the link and paste it in your CRM. It's just simple as that. But this is its own landing page where you're going to go in, and I got plenty of roofers that already use this, and you can do it from your phone. I got guys that live in their trucks. You can do it from your home, do it anytime. And it's just one other tab on your browser and going to be the simplest software that you have, and it won't even be close.
And do you are the calls recorded or are they just live?
Live and recorded. We do both. So in the live setting, we're recording. You can even send, let's say you've got somebody that has a quick follow-up or had my window's cracked or my gutters are this, and you don't want to hop on a live call. You can just send them a text and say, when you have a chance, take a video of that for me, and they can go take a video and it'll ping you. So you don't always have to be on the other end. So you can request a recording while you're on a live call. You can see the recording. Great for project managers as well, right? If I got a guy on a roof, they're texting me, we got a problem, boss, our project manager. Now the PM can see what's going on, see that recorded video, and even share it with the customer. Like, hey, guys were on the roof today. Check out this video they took up there. Hey, I think we're going to need to replace a couple of your boards while you're up there. Do you want that done? Great. It's going to be this much. So good for upselling, things like that nature. But yeah, everything's recorded and right to the cloud. Nothing is stored on device, right? We believe that if anything's stored on your customer device or on your employee device is a liability, especially if they decide to quit, you want all that into the cloud. It's fully encrypted. I mean, the Department of Defense uses it. It's safer than a phone call.
Yeah, actually, that was going to be my next couple of questions, is if project managers can use it, which you already answered. And the fact that nobody wants to use up more space in their phone hard drive because it's already jam-packed with images and videos of other things, their kids going to school or whatever it may be. So everything's cloud-based now. So this is just click of a link and then they can access it with the customer can access it, the roofer can access it. So let's talk about the transition, right? So is this a little bit of a learning curve from our blue collar folks that are going to be using this, or is this pretty easy to navigate through? Walk me through for someone who, like you said, maybe they're running their business off of a truck. I have quite a few of those guys and I respect them because they know their trade really, really well. I couldn't get up on a roof, say, I couldn't even between a shingle and I could tell the difference between a shingle and a tile, but certain things like underlayments, like there's so much detail that goes into construction that we don't realize. So all respect to those guys that are doing the work, but how do they get onboarded? How do they learn? How do they indoctrinate themselves into this whole technology, I guess, informa boom?
Well, first of all, if everyone remembers, and I used to have them, these things called Nextel walkie-talkies. And if you're really old like me, we had CB radios. Nobody had to teach me how to use the Nextel walkie-talkie or CB radio. I literally just hit the button and I'm talking to right, as long as they had one as well. This is just as easy. If you can send a text message, which everyone on your team can do, I guarantee everyone's addicted to it, they can use the stuff. We train people in 3 to 5 minutes. You know why people think software is difficult? And I always pick on my engineers. Well, my engineers who code things have never spent a day on a ladder. I always say, you guys have soft hands. You don't know what it's like to live your life on a ladder and to be up on these roofs and browse painting and power washing. So I know my team, and all they want to do is tap a button. Now we can just tap a button and start my truck, push the on button. We had someone the other day who was 90 years old get on this. You literally tap the text and you're on. There's nothing to think about. And we know that engineers coding overcomplicate our CRMs. They overcomplicate our software, and our guys just are like, they're over it. They're like, I don't want to learn another software because it wasn't made by a roofer. It was made by an engineer who over-engineered it. That should be outlawed. Like, let my guys on the roof go spend a day in the air conditioning coding and take my coders and put them up on the roof for a day, and we'll see what happens. But you got to understand your user, anybody on your team. We go on site sometimes just to watch people use it. And we had a test where one of our home service customers had their cleaning lady cleaning the office. And we said, hey, can you come over here real quick? And we didn't tell her how to use it. We said, hey, can you figure this out? English was a second language for her. She spoke Russian and she immediately was able to do it. This stuff is easy. And we know your guys don't want to take another software class.
I have an agency that does that apps, even though, I mean, there's apps coming to the market every single day, but people don't want to download apps. It's really annoying. You have to download, then you have to sign up. That also gives them your information, and then they sell it to the third party, and you're getting 20, 30 calls from that, like the day of. Like, it's really annoying. So yeah, just the link, people just navigating to it, and then just pulls out the. Talk to me about the technology too. Obviously this is cloud based. What is the, like, right now we're on video too, is there a lag time? Is there buffering issues? What if they're in a remote area with maybe not high speed, very good quality broadband? What can this video, like, are there different levels to the bandwidth or the quality of the video that is going to be transmitted through your platform?
Yep, there's 2 different levels. Okay, level 1 is you have just a crappy connection, right? The nerdy thing is called WebRTC, Web Real-Time Communication. This platform allows for even just with low bandwidth situations able to connect. But there are situations where there's no bandwidth. I have my plumbers who are going down in the basement. I've got my guys doing installation in the roof. I have solar panel installers in the middle of nowhere in the USA, right? Where there is literally little to no or intermediate internet through LTE or 3G or the worst of internet. So we have computer scientists here that figured out a way where you can tap a button, you're taking the video, and even when you get to just the worst internet, it'll still upload the recorded video. So in certain situations, you cannot do the live call because there's just no internet. Like, I go into a basement somewhere, there's no internet in there, but I can hit a button, go down to the basement, record it, and what it will do is it's called caching it in the browser. It's literally saved in your browser. So even when you get to...
Yeah, as long as the video that is being recorded doesn't get lost just because of crappy internet, like, I'm guessing, like you said, it's cached on, like, for viewers out there that are not too tech savvy, we don't have to feel bad about that, because obviously you guys are good at what you guys do and we're good at what we do. So yeah, if to break it down into very simplest terms, I guess, would be that it would be stored in your browser cache, in your browser history, and then the browser itself, as long as you don't close the browser, it's just going to upload it whenever there's internet available, which may be 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe it's just going to take a little bit longer if the bandwidth is low, correct?
Yep, that's correct. We have many folks that work in very rural areas and in the middle of the woods, frankly, for some of those solar installers as an example. So we know that that's a situation we've come across many times, and we've solved for that using caching in the browser.
And without getting too detailed into the specific, is this like a SaaS product where they pay a monthly, or is it by storage? Like, is it a fixed cost to them? Is it by the number of videos they store? How do you guys price it out?
Yeah, we believe that you should not need a decoder ring to figure out pricing. We're very simple. So it's a monthly cost like Netflix. You just buy a few licenses. You don't even need to buy this for everyone in your organization and your company, nor should you. Salespeople, maybe project manager, maybe your lead person, and it's very affordable. I got folks that live in their truck, mom and pops that use our stuff. I came from that world. I knew what I could afford. The only thing I fight against is your gas tank, saying, hey, instead of driving out today, let's use this. And next, I want you to think of me when you're pumping gas, because this is cheaper than your gas. 2 Phillips
I love
on
it.
a truck pays for this. And here's the best thing: when you don't have to leave the dinner table with the family. I have a guy who installs TVs and speakers, audio visual, in homes. And he said, James, the best thing about this is I'm able to use this for tons of my bids and follow-ups. And it gives me 2 hours back every day to spend with my 2-year-old daughter. And I love that. We even recently had a roofing company, one of our newer customers, reach back out and say, James, like, the best thing was I didn't have to drive anywhere on a Sunday. I was able to do all my work from my home, and it was awesome. So this is one of those things that your staff members are going to be like, oh, this is great. When you're your project manager, not having to drive all around, and the speed to connect with your customer. When you have a customer who wants to give you money,
Yeah.
I want to get theirs now. If I have a mad, I want to get my face in front of them now as the owner, because when someone's mad, when they call up a company like Amazon, what do they say? Representative, they don't want to talk to an AI robot when they are mad, or especially if someone's going to make a big $20,000 purchase for a roof. When you spend $20,000, don't you want a little bit of concierge, white glove service? Sometimes we forget. It was one of the most expensive things I ever bought for my house was a roof, So and there's a lot of competition. So I need to separate myself with speed, connecting with them in a human way, and then making sure we deliver, because I'm only as good as my last job.
And I guess they can still make a trip out if it's warranted, if the customer wants it. I mean, obviously you're calling the customer, but they might want to get that additional sort of, like you said, white glove concierge type of feel that, okay, well, we're going to do something that no other roofer is going to be able to do for you. Because
That's
like
right.
most likely none of their competitors, or none of the other companies that are in that area are likely to use a service like this, because they're not that advanced in terms of thinking or technologies, so to speak. Because I mean, this is obviously far less common for construction companies or roofing or HVAC companies than it is like mainstream, which I'm sure it's not yet anyway. So yeah, that's going to give them the leg up, obviously the edge. And like you said, the saving the gas money is great, but just saving the time, because I mean, some of these metro areas, you're looking at hour and a half to drive out to a customer, sometimes two. And yeah, you want to get that $20,000-$30,000 sale, because you're making what 30-40% margins on these jobs. But if you go out there, you might have missed the other opportunity that's knocking, which is the next customer in line that actually wants to spend money. And maybe that customer that you went out to, they looked promising, but then you go out there and find out their insurance is crap, like whatever insurance they have, or maybe they can't really afford the roof right now, they're only looking to do repairs, even though that's not the way to go about it in time. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits. I was just thinking about the gas money savings, but really the speed to lead is something that we talk about all the time. We set up automations, AI notifications. Now you have voice agents to talk to people, just like we're talking right now. Like they would just ask questions, and we have a whole question bank of things. So video, I think,
And it's
makes it
preparing the
easier.
crew, right? Preparing the crew. The worst thing is a crew drives out to find out, oh, dang it, we didn't bring long enough ladders for the job. So now that it's been recorded, whether it's virtual, on site, remember, record everything. It gives you the eyes on your entire business, and that can be shared with the team that's getting ready to go out. Hey, before you hop in the truck, let's watch this video really quick. They get an eye on what the house looks like, and like, oh, we need the longer ladders this time. Because if they drive out 30 minutes, forget the ladder, they got to drive 30 minutes back to the storage, back out there. And when you do decide I'm coming out, whether you're selling, whether you're doing a follow-up, that's fine. Still take your phone out, document. And as the owner, you've had ears on your business, but now you're going to see everything. And it keeps your team accountable. It allows for training, and it keeps the customers accountable. Like, oh, when the sales guy was talking to me, he said that they were going to re-roof my shed as well, in addition. Meanwhile, it's nowhere on the contract, and the customer probably just made that up, and now that's eating into your margin. You could have checked your instant replay, watched the video, like, no, we never said
No,
anything about
yeah,
this.
document. Yeah,
Yeah, that documentation
yeah.
is covering your backside. Also, if they're like, "Oh, well, I need to talk to my spouse before I do that." Okay, well, watch this video of me walking around so they can see how professional I am. Or the insurance company is giving me a hard well, here's the video of the hail damage where we were standing right next to it. Here's the broken window that we didn't like. We were climbing up our ladder first time. Boss, there's a broken window. We take the video. Protecting your team and protecting you from your customers also is another thing you got to be thinking about in your business.
Yeah, and even like if they're gonna ask their spouse, because a lot of these decisions are sometimes made by the wife in the household, or in some cases the husband. They can even pull them into the video and say, hey, I'm gonna ask my wife, like, hey, all right. So then you make an instant connection with that individual as well. So now you're connected to the entire family, not just the one person that maybe pays the mortgage and it doesn't quite make the decision on which way to go. So now you got both your decision makers on the call ready to go. So James, we're kind of towards the end of the show. I would like to give viewers the opportunity to connect with you, to connect with LifeSwitch, to learn more, for them to get a hold of you.
Two ways. Okay. First way, if you use LinkedIn, James Hatfield, like the Hatfields and McCoys. Yes, my great great uncle is part of American history. Look me up, reach out to me. I'll talk business with you. I've run businesses. The second way, go to liveswitch.com, LIVESWITCH.com, say demo. What I want you to do, ask for James. Say, I heard James on the podcast, and you can get right to me. You won't have to go to any of my sales team. You just come right to me. I'll take care of you. Anyone listening to a podcast, I know you're 2 steps ahead of the competition, and happy to connect with you, share some stories, and walk you through everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I will definitely put the links in the description of this podcast. I'm sure James has his own, so he'll probably put this video out in his channels as well. So I really appreciate the time. This has been swell. Never had a technologist on the show, so this has been very refreshing, eye-opening. Wishing you the best, and I look forward to potentially referring you to some of our clients, because they need the help and they need the support to in their sales process. So I think this will do a ton of good for their businesses too. James, again, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.